These are two real e-commerce stores. One was built with Shopify and the other with Wix. And from the outside, you probably can't tell which is which, but comparing Shopify versus Wix isn't just about which platform can generate the better looking website. What actually happens after these AI website builders create the storefront, that is where many people get stuck. They get a nicely polished website and assume that the store is finished, only to discover that it doesn't actually work. So I'm giving Shopify and Wix the exact same goal, the same business, same instructions, and the same finish line. A complete store, live and ready to accept orders. Look, I've spent years building e-commerce stores, and this time it's not just about comparing features. I'm choosing which platform will actually get to power my next business. I'll track the time and the costs live, score both platforms throughout the entire build, and show you exactly what it takes to turn each website into a fully functioning store. When this challenge is over, only one store will be the winner to help me start my next business. So we are going to be scoring these two based on 5 different goals. The first one is going to be the speed as to which we can get started with a fully built store. 2 is going to be the design. 3 is going to be the ease of use of the site editor. 4 is going to be the cost. And finally, 5, the functionality. Okay, so to get started, we're going to have both Shopify and Wix opened up on our screen. On the left, we have Shopify, but through Build Your Store. And on the right, we have Wix. Now, the reason that we're going with Build Your Store for Shopify is because it actually streamlines the entire registration process for us. So with that being said, let's go ahead and start a timer with each one of these. And every time that we move to the other platform, we're going to pause the timer for a quick second until we come back to it. All right, let's go ahead and start with Wix on this one. All right, so let's go ahead and click on Get Started. We're just going to put in our email. Okay, create our password. All right, so now it's going to ask us a couple questions. So this is going to be for myself. All right. Now we've got a bring your store to life. All right, let's see if this helps us build our store. So first, tell me what your site is all about. So for this, I'm going to go with the same exact type of store for both. So I'm just going to do an electronics store. Actually, no, let's do a pet store. So let's go. My store is a pet store focusing on cats and dogs. Ooh, let's do Petopia. All right, so does Petopia sell physical products or offer services like grooming? No, for this, we are going to be doing physical products because we are dropshipping. Just make it a lot quicker. Dropshipping is just a very easy way to get started in e-commerce. So let's stick with that. All right, perfect. With dropshipping, Wix stores will let you showcase and sell your cat and dog products online seamlessly. Who do you mainly serve? Cat owners, dog owners, or both equally? I would say more dog owners, but let's make it equal. All right, what makes Petopia stand out from other pet retailer store? We're a friendly and quirky type brand, but also with a premium feel. All right, so the way that it's doing everything now, it's creating our site profile. So it's getting to know what we're doing, what we want to do, the goals, and target audience. Do you plan to build a community through content like pet care tips to keep focused mainly on product sales? Yeah, definitely. It's a good idea because that's going to be a part of our marketing. All right, so it's currently going through. Now, what else does it want us to do? So your site's functionality, online stores, blog, Instagram video, and forms. We don't need forms. We can have a blog eventually. We'll showcase our stuff on Instagram, which will eventually tie back to the website. And of course, online stores, so sell your products or find new products to sell. Perfect. Go ahead and continue. Okay, so Petopia is taken, but that's okay. We can go ahead and go with any one of these. We can skip this part for now though, and we are all set. So let's go to the dashboard. Now, the reason I skipped the getting the domain is because we're gonna have to pay up front, and I'm not ready to pay for that just yet. So let's go ahead and continue, which by the way, I'm gonna show you a way to get a free domain a little bit later on. All right, so now we're gonna press pause. We are on our main dashboard for Wix, and we're gonna run over to Build Your Store. Now, if you're curious to see which one of these two stores is actually gonna be the winner and which one I'm gonna end up scaling later on, which one I'm gonna choose with and go with, make sure you hit that subscribe button, make sure you like this video. And if you see any hype feature on there, make sure you click that. And let me know which one of these two is your favorite. Do you like Wix or do you like Shopify? I wanna hear your thoughts down in the comments below. All right, let's continue. So from here, we're gonna go ahead and click on Build My Free Store. We're gonna go ahead and register. Okay, so now it is creating our AI store. Let's go ahead and choose our niche. We said the pets niche, so we're gonna go with the exact same one. We're gonna customize it now. We're gonna choose 2 different pet banners. I'm gonna go with this one and this one. All right, perfect. Now we need to own our store, so we need to claim our store. Let's go ahead and do that. All right, claim our store. All right, so we're good on there. So it's redirecting us back to buildyourstore.ai. Good to go. All right, so now we're gonna activate our store. This is simply just signing up for the plan. Now, the good thing about the plan for Shopify is that they always have a promotion going on. So there's always gonna be something to get you started in an easy way or in a cheaper way, right? So right now, the current plan is $1 each month for 3 months. So you got 3 months of e-commerce for just $3. That's not bad at all. And look, to be honest with you, if you can't get a sale within 3 months, just cancel it and open up another one. It's not that big of a deal. You'll be good on that part. Okay, we're good to go here. Let's go back to build your store. Click on I'm done. We're gonna go ahead and do the free version of this. So we're gonna do with the free beginner store. We can skip the rest. Skip it one more time. And now we're going to customize the store. So now our store is actually being customized by the Build Your Store AI. All right, so that was actually really quick. Now let's go ahead and check this out. We are next up to register with AutoDS. Now we are going to be registering with AutoDS. So that way we can gain access to winning and trending products that are currently selling and have current market demand. Now these products are also going to be available in the store that we're creating. So on top of having a pre-built store, we're also going to have products that we can actually sell. So let's go ahead and click on done. I already have my account attached to AutoDS, so I just signed in myself, and we're good to go on that part. So now we're pretty much good to go on this part. We can go ahead and click on Access My Store. Our store is currently password protected, so let's run back over to our main dashboard over here. And at this point, let's go ahead and press pause and pause the timer. So at this point, we're pretty much on the same step on both websites. So really quick, let's run back to Wix. And let's see what we need to do from here. So looking at this, we actually have to go to the design site page. And now we're actually going to create our store or our website. Now, this to me feels kind of redundant because I feel like what was the point of the questionnaire at the beginning? I guess it would have been to essentially just get an idea of what we're doing. But still, that if I was answering these questions with the Wix AI, I was kind of expecting it to pretty much get this already done for us. Now, the good thing is that Aria, or our Wix AI assistant, already has a prompt ready for us, so that way we can generate the site. And I really like how it's actually following my mouse. If you see the little eye over here, that's funny. Oh, and you go over it and it squeezes, it closes its eyes. That's pretty cool. All right, that got me in a better mood right now. So as of right now, let's go ahead and give a score to both of these. And honestly, when it comes to Shopify, the entire process was pretty straightforward, very simple, especially with Build Your Store. Our store is pretty much completely built. I'll show it to you in just a second. But as for the overall speed of getting started, I'm gonna have to give Shopify a 9 out of 10. This is the fastest I've ever seen a store get set up from scratch, even faster than using Claude or ChatGPT to create a website. And then as for Wix, I thought we were done, but apparently not. So that definitely has an effect on the score and leaves Wix with a 5 out of 10. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and generate the site. Now it's actually gonna get everything done for us. So create a friendly and quirky online pet store for Petopia. And it's introducing itself. All right, actually, you know what? We should be running the timer still because our store still isn't ready. So let's go ahead and continue that timer. And let's backtrack it a couple seconds to make sure. All right, so it's telling us to not leave the tab. So let's go ahead and keep this open. Let's not close it out. Might cause some errors and have us start over. Not sure, but I don't want to risk it. While that is doing its thing though, I am going to click over to Shopify for a quick second. And I'm going to remove the password for our store. To do that is easy. Just click on Online Store and then click on Remove Password. And our store is now open to everyone. We can go ahead and actually show the store. We can check it out and navigate through it. So let's just give it one more second. Let's let Wix finish. Okay, so it's still doing its thing. It's taking a little bit longer than I had expected it to. So while that's doing its thing, let's run over to Shopify really fast and let's check out the online store. So let's click on View Your Online Store. And this is what we get. So We have here our new Petopia pet store. It's not branded as Petopia just yet, but we can go ahead and brand it later on. It's very easy through the Shopify editor. Now let's just take a look. We have the two different banners that we chose. We already have a nice little headline, Happy Pets, Happy Homes. And scrolling through everything, it looks very aesthetic. It's not over cluttered with a lot of text, which is something that I see a lot of. And trust me, you don't want to have that on your store because that turns people away. So let's go ahead and keep going. We have some nice little high quality pictures here. Nothing's pixelated, nothing's blurry. We have comfort meets reality. And we have our mission statement along with a couple of trust badges. Now this looks really nice. It's actually pretty clear, very clean. This is pretty interactive here. I like that. And we have some reviews and we have everything that we need. So we have our privacy choices. We have over here also our, really quick, pause the timer, Wix just finished. Before we go with that, let's go ahead and just expand this and just finish. So we have our quick links, we have our social media badges, and then if we click into the catalog, we have our different products and the different products that were imported using AutoDS. Remember, this is already preloaded with winning and trending products that we can sell ourselves. So let's go ahead and check this one out really fast. The cat litter trapping mat. This is one that I covered, I want to say in the May products video. This is something that just went absolutely crazy and it's still selling really well. We have a bundle and save. We have our add to cart or buy it now options. We have here a nice little description that we can collapse and expand. And one thing that I really like is this over here. We have a sticky add to cart. So no matter where our customers are on our product page, they can always add the product to their cart and choose whatever variations we have available. Now, let's run over to Wix and let's see what Wix created for us. And let's see if it can up the score a little bit. So this is our site and it's currently looking like it's a mobile version. Let me just switch it over. Let's go ahead and preview it. Okay, so this is what it came up with. So here we have Petopia. I do like the fact that it created a logo for us that says Petopia on it. This looks nice. I like the color scheme. I'm not a huge fan of all of this extra space. I feel like this could have easily gone over here, but that's something that we can probably easily edit. Those little animations are nice. So we have for your canine and for your feline. Top picks. So we have a few different placeholder products. I'm not sure where this one came from, a reflective comfort harness, but this is actually a back brace. But AI makes mistakes sometimes. It happens, I guess. And at the end of the day, these aren't really products that we're actually selling. These are all placeholders. So let's keep going. We have 20% off all essentials. This is cut off. Community wisdom. We have, oh, this is our blog. So this is the blog that it asked us if we wanted to do. And I said, yeah, sure, go ahead and do that. We can go ahead and click into this. Can we? No, it doesn't look like it's currently working. Maybe, oh, there we go, it loaded up. So it actually has a pre-filled blog. So this is pretty nice. This is a pretty cool add-on over here. Let's go back home. Then we have some reviews over here. I wouldn't really consider this a review section. I mean, I would. It's just kind of hard to figure out what it is just because of how it's structured. I would probably add a couple of stars down here just so people know what it is. Maybe like a 4 out of 5 stars or something like that. And maybe like a highlighted review. Then we have our email. And that's pretty much it. We have our get in touch, visit us, and our socials. But it's missing a few things that we actually really need. Like let's say our privacy policies, our shipping policies, stuff like that. Let's check out the shop really fast. So this is our page. This right here does not fit at all. I mean, I know we're using AI to generate a lot of these assets, but this is something that really needs to be fixed because this right here just overall looks kind of creepy. And this ghost over here is kind of out of place. And these just aren't prep products, along with some of these different things. But again, these are just placeholder products. But this banner really should not have been there to begin with. Okay, so this is our full catalog. Let's click into one of these. So let's do this one. This one's the one that looks the most like a toy. And no, that's pretty much it. So we have our variations, an add to cart, and a small description. Pretty straightforward. It's all right. Honestly, it's not ugly. By any means, it's not ugly at all. But it's not telling me, it's not screaming out to me, e-commerce, store. You know what I'm saying? Next, let's talk about the design. Now, as far as the design, Right now we have both of them pulled up side by side. Let's start with Wix because this is the one that is standing out to me a little bit more for a few reasons. So first off, the design of the page itself is not bad. I like the colors, I like the animations, I like the transitions. It looks good, but it doesn't necessarily, to me, scream out e-commerce. Yeah, you have a shop, you have a different collection, but that's pretty much it. You don't have information on the store, you don't have any policies, you don't have anything that's actually telling you that this is a trustworthy website. A lot of the times people scroll all the way to the bottom and they look for the different types of payments that you accept. They look for your shipping policy to see 1, where you're shipping from, 2, how long it takes you to process and ship your orders, and 3, also a refund and exchange policy. Those are things that people always look for. Now, besides that, the overall homepage, I like the different sections that it has, but I don't like how it's screaming AI to me. A lot of this just feels like AI for some reason. Another thing is that the layout itself, it's pretty spaced out. There's a huge picture. There's a lot of space over here. I feel like this would have been so much easier or so much better looking or aesthetic if this text was simply on top of this. But that's fine. We can change this, which we'll do in just a second. We'll see how the visual editor is. But then we have this. So we have for your canine and for your feline. In my opinion, there should be a little bit of block of text on one of these that simply just tells the user or the person that's visiting your website what we do for your canine. Why choose us? Why trust your beloved pets with our products? That's something that's very necessary for something like this. We need to create trust in our customers. And then we have our top picks. So we have our products, which our products are fine. Placeholders, not that bad. But once we click into it, the product page itself is too bare. When it comes to a product page, you always want to have something that instills trust in your customers, something that instills trust in the people that are visiting your website. Right now, there's nothing that does that for me. This is just a very basic and plain site that has a nice color palette. It has a very nice color scheme to it. Something that would really help here would be, let's say, reviews or how a product like this could help your pet. Maybe it'll, make it look a lot cuter. It'll make it the talk of the town, whatever it may be. But a little bit more information and a little bit more trust. Now, if I did have to score the overall vibe and the way that the websites look, honestly, I was expecting a little bit more from Wix. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I did like the transitions. That's something that I've always been huge on. I like the little transitions, the little animations as you scroll through the page. So because of that, I'm gonna up its score a little bit from what I was originally thinking. I was thinking as an e-commerce website, right? I would probably give it a 4 out of 10 because again, it's not instilling any trust in me and it's not making me say I want to purchase anything from here. So because it does have those added little animations that I do like, I'm gonna bump it up to a 5 out of 10. Now let's run over to Shopify. So when it comes to Shopify, our store is laid out very cleanly and it's not very cluttered. Now, one thing that I will say as far as a starting store is that the template itself is, again, I mentioned this earlier, it's very clean and it's very aesthetic, looks really nice, but it does look like it could potentially be maybe a template that can be reused with a few different niches. So there are a few different ways that you can improve this by simply just changing some of the different colors, updating the logo, making something a bit more personal and unique. But besides that, as an e-commerce homepage or landing page, it's already taking us straight to the action. So we've got our little tagline here, love your pet and our store. We can change that pretty easily. I would probably change that love your pet and our store. I like the love your pet, our store, that could probably be changed. But then we have our happy pets and happy homes. That alone is already telling your customer, look, this is a nice place for your pets. This is something that is going to be good for your pets. Remember, we're trying to instill trust in our customers. Then we have the different things that we offer. So instead of saying that we just simply cater to dogs and cats, we're telling people right off the bat what we have. So we have products for grooming and care. We have a particular product for stress-free brushing, so you can brush your pet's hair or their fur. And comfort meets reality. So you're already showing customers that we have nice beds, unique beds, something like, this little shark bed over here. But then if you keep scrolling, you do have more trust badges, more ways to get your customers to convert. And that's one of the biggest things that sets Shopify apart from a website builder like Wix. Shopify is built legitimately for e-commerce. So it already has all of these things in mind. It already knows what it needs to have in order to make your customers say, I'm going to buy this. I feel comfortable spending my money here. So we scroll through everything else. We have our different reviews. We do have the stars, like I had mentioned earlier, something that helps. But then we also have our privacy policy. We have our privacy choices, which if we click into it, we have information here. And then if we click on our privacy policy, we have everything here as well. And again, this right here is something that stores need. You're required to have different privacy policies on your store. So that way customers know what information you're collecting from them. So that way customers know what to expect when it comes to the shipping and delivery and the order fulfillment. Now let's run to the catalog really fast and let's check out the product page. We did already see this one, but let me point out something really fast that is also meant to help convert the user. And that's going to be, for one, the bundle and save, and two, the sticky add to cart. This is going to follow your customers wherever it is that they are on this page. So they can immediately click add to cart. So if they decide, let's say by the time that they're over here, right, they read this review, they're like, you know what? This review convinced me to make this purchase. Instead of having to scroll up and click on add to cart, they can just over here, choose their variation, add to cart, done. And also, as you can see, the page itself does have a lot more information for the product itself, the brand, and how it can benefit the person's pet. So design from Shopify, hands down, this is the winner. I have to say 8 out of 10 again. There are a few different things, again, that I think can be improved. There's always room for improvement, like let's say the logo, or maybe some of the different colors, maybe the banner itself. You want to make it a bit more personal, that's fine. There's different ways that you can do this, and it's really easy. But to start, let's actually run to Wix and let's see how the visual editor works here. Now, as far as editing our website, let's do the change that I had told you earlier. I don't like this over here. I do like this over here. So let's go ahead and take our information here. All right, I'm going to bring this forward. Let's drag this down. There we go. So we just had to set that picture as the background. Now let's go ahead and make this smaller because this is way too big. Let me go to 100%. That's better. Okay. So let's go ahead and drag this. That's one thing I will say about Wix. Their visual editor is amazing. It's so easy to just click, drag and drop. I've always loved that. Let's go ahead and move this over here a little bit. Can't really see it. And then let's put this one. Okay, so I think this looks better. I will make this a little bit bigger, a little bolder. Make sure it stands out. There we go. That's a little bit better. Perfect. Okay, so this does look better in my opinion. It still definitely has a little bit of optimization that needs to be done in order to make it look 100% nicer. But I think this is already a good start to fixing that empty space that we had at the beginning. Now, as you can see, the visual editor is really easy. I am starting to cut off her face a little bit. There you go. That's a little bit better. Okay, so that works. We can have the dog in the middle. I mean, again, this is just a placeholder. We can always change this if we want to. I'm just trying to show you how easy it is to edit your website using Wix. Now, down here, what we would do is probably remove this or add a little piece of text. So maybe we can ask Aria over here. So I'm just simply asking Aria to add a little bit of text over here to help the user understand what we do. So let's see if this is something that Aria can do. So it did do it, but it made it the header text. It should have made it just basic text. So that's, again, something that we can come back to. We can touch up on it. We can probably just add an extra piece of text or make this a lot smaller. Instead of header, we could probably just make this into basic text, like paragraph text. Like this. And then we can add this one over here, which I don't remember what it said. Oh, for your cannon. Something like that. That's actually something more along the lines of what I was envisioning. So as far as the visual editor, I want to say, I will give Wix that. Wix has a good editor. It's really streamlined. It's pretty easy. I will give it an 8 out of 10 because it is a pretty good editor. It's really easy to drag and drop. It makes everything pretty seamless. And Aria kind of seems to understand what I'm telling it to do. We'll probably have to be a bit more specific on our prompts, but it's AI at the end of the day. We always have to do that. Now let's check out Shopify really quick. And if we go to our Shopify dashboard, we can go ahead and click on our online store and click on edit theme. And then from here, we can start to make changes. So while we can click, drag and drop certain parts, we can typically just do that through here. So let's say we want to move this banner to the bottom, right? We can simply click the slideshow over here, click and drag it. And as you can see, it's showing us where we're going to go ahead and drop it to. Now I'm not going to move it. I'm going to leave it up top. That's obviously the best place to have a banner. But then if we want to change any of this, like let's say the image, we can go ahead and change that through here. We do have the option to select from our own library or have free images that we use. So most of these, if not all of them, are actually the real images. They're not AI generated, which AI generated images, they're perfectly fine. I generate images all the time. I use AI for literally everything, but you can't have AI slop, right? You need to actually review what you're uploading, what you're using, because if you upload something like that banner that we saw earlier from Wix, it doesn't look good, right? A customer's going to jump on your website and you're going to think, what is this? And then they're just going to jump off. Now, in terms of adding different sections, the way that we do this on here is simply clicking add section through here. So let's say we want to add a section for a featured collection. Maybe we have a specific product too that we want to promote and we want to talk a little bit about it. We can go ahead and click on image with text. It's going to add our image with text over here. We can go ahead and move it. So if we want to put it under our slideshow, this will be what we're highlighting. Over here, we just simply click. We can double click on here and put, let's say, our #1 selling dog bowl, right? And then we can go ahead and do the same thing here. We can change our text, or we can simply ask Sidekick, which is this dude right here, and we can have him do whatever it is that we need him to do. So make this section featuring our dog bowl and change the background color to, I want to say, gray. All right, so let's see if our Shopify Sidekick can do that. So it's telling us what it's doing. It's checking the content of the section. It found the dog bowl product, which is one of the ones that was imported to our store. It's going to customize our theme now. And there we go. So introducing our premium dog drinking bowl, it did everything the way we wanted it to. It updated this information over here. The only thing it didn't do was update the image itself, because this isn't necessarily a product image, but it's actually telling us that over here. You may want to also swap in a product image for the section to complete the look. So if we had done this to be a featured product section, the image would have been automatically pre-filled. But it also did change the background color. So if you look at this white, this is actually bright white. This one is a darker gray. Not too dark, but it's a darker gray. So we can go ahead and close this. We can click this over here and we can change the image. So we can select and we can add, let's say, this image over here. And there we have it. Now we do want to maybe make it a little bit smaller. So let's make that medium. How about large? No, it's too big. I think the medium one would fit the best here. And then if we wanted to fix the rest of this, we can probably just ask Sidekick to do that for us. Or we can simply just shorten a little bit of our text. So we can do it something like that to make it a bit more even. So as far as customizability and the ease of using the editor, we already gave Wix an 8 out of 10 because everything is very streamlined. And as for Shopify, I wish they had a click, drag and drop editor, but thankfully it's actually not that hard to make changes on any one of the different pages, as you just saw. And the AI seems to work pretty well. Sidekick works pretty well. So as far as Shopify, just because it doesn't have that click and drag and drop editor, I'm not going to give it the 8 out of 10, but because it has come a long way compared to maybe 3 years ago or even last year, it's a lot easier to edit your entire store. So I am going to be giving it a 7 out of 10. If it did have that click, drag and drop editor, I would have probably given it a 9 out of 10, but I think 7 out of 10 is fair. Let's add in a score for Aria and Shopify's Sidekick. This really wasn't something that I was planning on scoring, but from the bit of testing that I did, they're both very helpful. Aria got done what I needed, but needed more context, and you need to be a lot more specific with it. It's also pretty limited to just overall aesthetics for the website, while Shopify's Sidekick understood what we asked it to do and even suggested a way to make the section look better. It also has other functionalities like helping with your inventory and a lot more. So Aria gets a 6 out of 10 and Shopify's Sidekick gets a 9 out of 10. All right, so we saw the website, we saw everything that I created. Now let's talk about the actual functionality of the website and how everything works, because we are going to need different things that are absolutely necessary in e-commerce. We're going to need to import products, fulfill orders, purchase shipping labels. All of these are different things that we need to take into consideration when we have our e-commerce store, because it's necessary. It's something that we cannot live without as a store. But before we set that up, we need to choose our plan. Shopify, we choose everything from the very beginning. And as you saw, the plans do start at a special promotion rate of $1 per month for 3 months. Now, after that, it does change. So we're going to be looking at if we pay monthly, $39 a month, or if we pay yearly, it's going to be $29 a month, but it's all going to be paid in one single bigger payment. Now, as far as Wix is a little bit sneaky here. They kind of hide it from us, right? So what we need to do when it comes to Wix is we actually need to upgrade our account in order to be able to start accepting payments to begin with. So let's click on the upgrade button over here, and then we're going to have the different plan costs. So to get started, we are going to need some sort of e-commerce plan. So right off the bat, we do have two different ones that we're going to be considering. We have the core and we have the business. Now the core has basic e-commerce while business has pro e-commerce. The difference is going to be that the pro e-commerce, it's really going to be what you need more than anything because it's going to have everything already essentially set for you. It's going to have automated sales tax, and it's going to have different dropshipping features, and it's also going to give you priority support. Now, the thing here is that this price is actually not really $19.50 a month. So if we go ahead and click on select, we're going to see the real price. So $19.50 a month is actually for the yearly plan. If we're looking at monthly, we're going to be looking at $46 a month. So $46 a month versus $40 a month, because we are looking at the monthly plan. Let's get started. We're going to be testing the waters. Chances are everyone's going to go for the monthly plan. Now, Wix does give you a free domain for 1 year, and it also gives you access to 25 different dropshipping products. I'm not entirely sure what kinds of products or where they come from. This doesn't tell you any of that information until you actually go ahead and start the purchase and you go all the way through. Now, I already use AutoDS. AutoDS is already the one that provides me with all of my different dropshipping products. As you saw, it auto-filled everything already on Shopify. So we know what we're getting right from the get-go. And on top of that, we have access to an entire library of dropshipping products, not just 25. We have thousands that are handpicked and proven to convert. Now, speaking of that free domain for 1 year, let's go back to Shopify, because we actually have to finish our Build Your Store setup. So after our store is live, if we click on done, we're gonna have a how did you hear about us? Obviously just put YouTube, long videos, and just put that, Mario sent me, and then put a happy face. But then we can go ahead and save and continue. And then we have a nice little promotion to be able to create AI UGC videos. We can go ahead and click on done. And then we have the option to secure our free domain as well. So on top of having Build Your Store, that's completely free for us to use to create our store, it also gives us a free .store domain. .store is pretty much what Rihanna uses or Mr. Beast uses, that they have the Rihanna.store or MrBeast.store. It's not a .com, but at this point, it's actually what separates a general website versus an actual e-commerce website or an online store. So looking at the cost for both Shopify and Wix, they're not that bad, honestly, and you do end up getting a free domain. The only thing about Build Your Store is that it does come with the trial also for AutoDS. So you are going to gain the advantage of having more dropshipping products that are actually backed by a massive database that's been building for, I want to say, a decade at this point. So as far as the cost, they're both affordable. We can use both of them, but I am going to give Shopify a 9 out of 10 because for the most part, you're good with the basic plan. You don't need any of the higher tiers to get started. And Wix, I am going to give it a 6.5 out of 10. I didn't really like the fact that you had to navigate through a few different pages to actually find the true cost or the monthly cost. Now, just so you know, Wix also supports AutoDS. So if you do want to use Wix as an e-commerce website, you can automate your entire dropshipping e-commerce business, including the order fulfillment, the product importing, which I'm going to show you in just a second, and still have access to that library of trending products. It will, however, though, be a little bit more expensive than it would be if you're going with Shopify. Now, as far as the actual shipping options and how you can ship your or fulfill your orders. So Wix doesn't necessarily have a built-in shipping processor. It can, however, connect to a third party, such as ShipStation, Shippo, or Ascend. Now, again, this is going to be a third party. This isn't going to be directly through Wix. So you attach them and then you can make those purchases that way. Whereas Shopify has everything already built in. So you get also, on top of everything, special, cheaper Shopify rates. And this alone is also really helpful simply because it allows you to be able to send automatic tracking updates to your customers. So the moment that something gets fulfilled, you can set it so that way your customer knows within a minute. They're receiving an email letting them know that their order is on the way or that the shipping label has been purchased. Besides that though, as far as the actual functionality of the website as an e-commerce website, Shopify is created for e-commerce and it's known as the e-commerce website. Wix, however, is more of a general website. It's more of a general website builder that's going to let you create things for, let's say, different blogs. If you're an artist, you can create a portfolio. Of course, as you saw, you can still create e-commerce websites. They're just not necessarily as powerful or as optimized for conversion as a Shopify store would be. Shopify is already putting everything in front of your customer that they need to see in order to get them to start thinking right from the moment they land on your store, I want to buy something from this website. Whereas Wix isn't doing that for you. That's actually up to you completely in order to figure that out. So you have to kind of start to figure out consumer psychology, which one of these things would the customer like to see first, what might look better, which one can convert a little bit better. Whereas Shopify, still, you have to do a little bit of testing. You have to make sure that everything looks good and everything is aesthetic and everything actually works. But it already gives you something to start building on, something that's already proven to work. Now, speaking of functionality, another thing that is really important when it comes to this is actually being able to add products to your store. So for Shopify, all you have to do is go ahead and click on products over here. Then you can go ahead and click on add product. And then you have all of this information that you need to fill out. So it is very streamlined and easy. Everything is simple and it's laid out for you. Now, as for Wix, it is pretty similar as well. So let's go ahead and add our first product. We can go ahead and click it over here. Then it's going to open up our catalog and then we can see our products over here. Now, as for the layout here, it's pretty similar to the one that we have on Shopify. It's not overbearing, it's not overcomplicated, but there are a couple of things that if you don't know what they are, they might start to throw you off. Like, let's say the ribbons. I'm not entirely sure what a ribbon is. So we have to hover over here, add a label like new arrival or sale to make this product stand out. Okay, so a ribbon is essentially a little banner that tells the person or the viewer or the customer that something is on sale. So it's like a little notification pop-up. Okay, pretty streamlined. I do like the fact that they have the little information button over here so you know what it is and you can see how ribbons work. So you click on that and it takes you to their help center. So it is at least a little bit streamlined in that aspect where they're teaching you and they're guiding you as to what's what. And they seem to have that through everything. So you can go ahead and hover on the little information circles on pretty much almost everything on the page to figure out what everything does. Now scrolling through, we have the different options, we have modifiers, some additional info sections, and the shipping and fulfillment. Now, personally, I don't do anything manually anymore. I don't upload any products through Shopify, or if I use Wix through Wix, I actually have AutoDS handle that for me. I could just simply choose a product from the handpicked product section or the AutoDS marketplace, click on import, and it's imported to my store. Besides that, I can also use a link from, let's say, Amazon or AliExpress to be able to import that product to my store as well. And again, that works with both Shopify and Wix, so it streamlines the entire process for you. But then going to the shipping and fulfillment center. Again, one thing that I mentioned earlier is that shipping on Shopify is pretty much automatically done for you. I don't want to say automatically because it's not automatically done for you. You still have to set your different shipping zones. You have to set where you're going to ship to, who you ship with. So are you shipping with UPS, FedEx, USPS? But Wix doesn't have that. Again, Wix is going to connect you with a third-party service where you're going to have to set all of that up. So depending on who you decide to go with, that's going to be a different process on each one. But again, I don't deal with these different shipping labels. I don't purchase my own shipping labels either because I have Fulfilled by AutoDS do all of the order fulfillment for me. And again, that works with both Shopify or Wix. Essentially what happens is that whenever your customer purchases your product, AutoDS is going to take the money from a balance that you have in your wallet, and it's going to use that to pay the supplier. And then once the supplier gives AutoDS the tracking number, it's going to update your customer with that. So the entire thing is automated for you. And it's a lot more streamlined and it's a lot simpler. So as far as the functionality, I do have to give Shopify a pretty nice score here. It is going to be a 9 out of 10 because again, Shopify is geared towards e-commerce. That's what it's made for. And Wix, not 100%. It does work for a lot of things. It really does, and it does them very well. But e-commerce is just one of the different tools in its huge toolbox. So as far as Wix functionality for e-commerce, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. So final result between Shopify and Wix, which one's better? Which one would I personally go with? Which one of these two is the one that's going to ultimately be the one that's taking over or going to be the base for my next online store? Which, by the way, if you do want to see where I take that store, if you want to see what happens with it, go ahead and let me know down in the comments below. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and make sure you like this video. And also, if there's a hype button or if there's a little hype feature down there, make sure you click that too. Now, drum roll please. Up. As an average overall score, Tallying up the different scores that we gave them, we are going to be looking at a final score of Shopify 9 out of 10 and Wix 6 out of 10. Again, both for e-commerce. Now, Wix is great. Wix makes pretty good websites that are really easy to customize. Their drag and drop editor, I think, is fantastic. And I find it really easy to be able to just click, drag, and drop things to wherever it is that you want them. But with that being said, something like that is a little bit different when it comes to e-commerce because you're kind of gauging these things yourself. You're looking at this from your own eyes. Is this going to look good to the customer? And that's going to be 100% up to your own judgment. Now, as far as Shopify, yes, you still have to judge your own website. You have to make sure that everything looks good, that the colors match, especially if you change everything yourself. But Shopify already has everything set up in a way where they're already thinking right from the beginning, how can we get a customer to convert? So because of that, Shopify is hands down the winner for any e-commerce website builders, with Wix coming in pretty close. Wix honestly is a jack of all trades. It does not specialize in one thing in particular, except just general website building. So because I am going to go with Shopify for this one, I'm going to go ahead and remove or close my Wix account. And we are going to go ahead and continue everything with Shopify. And again, if you do want to see where I take the store, make sure you hit that subscribe button and let me know down in the comments below, and stay tuned. Now, if you do want to learn everything about e-commerce and dropshipping through Shopify and be able to take a store like this and scale it to 10 times and beyond, then check out this video right here.